is he on the hot seat with a first-round loss? It would be the fourth first-round loss in a row. Mike Sullivan, at that point, will have had 7 postseasons with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He won 2 Stanley Cups in the first 2 seasons. He's won 9 series, and then at that point would have lost 5 series. So 9-5, that's when that immortality starts to get chiseled away. The last 3, I think, has started to kind of get rid of that immunity that I think is built up, because realistically, that's what I think he had. You win 2 Stanley Cups for an organization, you have a little bit of immunity. You have more runway before these questions even begin to get asked. But now, if you lose 4 straight in the first round of the playoffs with Crosby, with Malkin, with Letang for all 4, that immunity is gone, in my opinion, after this season. I don't think that he is at danger of losing his job, specifically because Fenway Sports Group just bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's a Boston guy. You have to think there has to be some connection there, but I also think that immunity is still in play for him this offseason. But if he loses in the first round again, that immunity is gone, and all of a sudden, to me, you're starting basically from scratch for season 8 for Mike Sullivan.
So Fenway, yes, Mike Sullivan is a Boston guy and Fenway's a Boston company, but at the same time, Fenway coming in and with other news headlines that eventually, again, like I said, we will get to, they could want to build their own situation from top to bottom. And that could include Mike Sullivan. Maybe not as much the players on the ice, but that could include a head coach or a coaching staff. But as you were talking there before you hit that part, you know what I heard a lot of comparisons to as you were speaking?
Mike Tomlin?
Yes, another Pittsburgh coach that won a championship, Mike Sullivan's case 2, early in his tenure in the city, and has been a great regular season coach ever since.
Yeah.
In Mike Sullivan's case, should have been up for multiple Jack Adams awards. You could still make the argument that he should be up there again this year. But especially in recent seasons, have given us nothing in the postseason. The Tomlin discussion has been happening for years now. That probably since Mike Sullivan has got here, the Mike Tomlin conversation has been happening of, is this his last ride? Can we get rid of him? Can we find someone new? The Rooneys are not big on firing coaches. We know this.
No.
Lemieux, on the other hand, and whatever Penguins general manager is in, is perfectly okay with it. We've seen Johnston go down. We've seen Bilesma go down. We've seen Michel Therrien for what it's worth. Eddie O for really what it's worth. I mean, he was bad, but you know. The hot seat question, I think, does come into play if we lose in the first round again this year, just because enough is enough.
And the one other comparison that I wanted to make to Mike Tomlin, so I'm glad you actually brought that up, is the fact that whenever they have those discussions, they being Steelers fans or Steelers pundits, it's the same thing with Mike Sullivan. Is this guy is probably one of the top 5, potentially top 3 coaches in the National Hockey League. If he's out, who are you getting to replace him? And realistically, to bring it back to the hockey conversation, it's what everybody says about Chris Letang. Listen, his contract might be horrific, but who are you going to get to replace him? There is no one. Like, there's no one that you're going to bring in that is going to be better than that guy. And I understand eventually that guy still has to go, but I don't think we're at that point with Mike Sullivan.